Hello and welcome to Vipers Voices, and it's a happy Vipers Voices this evening because it's the first win for the Desert Vipers in Season 2 of the DP World ILT20, a victory by 6 wickets over the Gulf Giants, and it's a victory against a side who of course beat the Desert Vipers in the final in Season 1. I've got Colin Munro, the Desert Vipers captain, alongside me. And Skipper, you must be a happy man, a relieved man perhaps, to get off the mark?
Yeah, I think a little bit of relief. Obviously, after the first game didn't go to plan from nearly ball one, I think. I think the plans that we came up with against the Gulf Giants, who are a well-structured team, paid off today. And I think the toss played an important role, but I also think that we played really well to these conditions.
I was going to ask you about the toss actually, because that's 5 games now in 7 in the DP World ILT20 which have been won by the side chasing. Is it a case of win the toss, put the others into bat and win the match, or is it a little bit more complex than that?
Oh, I'd say yes and no really. It's just, you obviously got to do whatever skill you do up front really well. But yeah, when there's a bit of dew, and under lights, it does seem to get on a little bit better, and batting becomes a little bit easier. But I think that's just nature of T20 cricket now. Guys like to know what they're chasing, what they can, and they have their matchups in mind, so that they can wait for that matchup and then try and put them under pressure when they come on.
The surface this evening had a lot of grass on it. I know the curator was very keen to get some pace into the surface. The amount of grass that was left on, was that a problem?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, groundsmen know a lot more than me about wickets, but I think sometimes on a T20 wicket, that one had a lot more fresh, like live grass on it, compared to the wicket that we played on the first game here. So I think the new ball was tough, but then once the new seam wasn't so hard, it got a little bit better to bat on, and you could see it probably. Obviously both teams had really good new ball bowlers, and you could see it. The power play was the hardest to bat, I thought, tonight.
You had the Gulf Giants 7 for 2, and then they got away from you a little bit with Lynn, who's been such a nemesis for the Desert Vipers last season as well. He played extremely well. Jordan Cox was there as well. Were you ever a little bit concerned there after the great start that you'd made?
No, not really. I think that's sometimes the nature when, there's always going to be a partnership somewhere. I thought Lynn was very proactive against our spin and played really well. And Cox just sort of accompanied him really well there through the middle and towards the back end there. So, yeah, I think, there's always going to be a partnership, but I thought we stuck to our plans well. There was a short side that we had to bowl some spin towards the short side. So, you look at Shadab's figures and he's gone for 10 and over, but I thought that was actually well bowled from him today. Obviously coming back from a lengthy time off the park, I thought he'll be much better for that performance tonight. So yeah, I can't fault any of the efforts tonight with the bowlers. I thought the plans that we spoke about, they've executed really well, and when you've got such experienced bowling lineup, it's just literally just put them in auto drive and go.
Let's talk about Shaheen Shah Afridi, 36 hours off the plane from New Zealand after an international series there, and lo and behold, he's come along and 3 for 22. He didn't really miss a beat, did he? It was an exceptional performance.
Yeah, it was, and to be honest, it's a lot more fun having him on my team than playing against him. He's obviously an ultimate professional. Like I said in the post-match presentation, I played with him at Notts, and he's an ultimate professional. He does everything what he can do for the team. Fields in the hot spots, he bowls the tough overs. He wants to get out there and bat at whatever position the team needs, and it's just nice to have those guys around.
160 at the halfway stage. Would you have taken that?
Yes, I think so. I think that's about par, especially with one short side that we had to try and close down. So 160, especially here at the Dubai Stadium, I think that's about par usually. I think 164 is an average winning sort of score, but with the dew coming in tonight, I thought that it probably was about par. But then again, I thought the way that we batted, to finish with an over and a bit to go was outstanding.
Got to ask you about the batting actually, because Hasaranga was obviously outstanding. He got 42 from 19 balls, and he really changed the momentum of the innings. But apart from that, were you entirely happy with the batting approach? It seemed to be a little bit block or bash at the beginning, rather than maybe working the ball around. Is that a fair comment?
Oh, well, I was at the top, so I think it was pretty harsh. But no, I thought they bowled really well up front, to be honest. It nipped around, it seemed, and we know Mujib can swing the ball with the new one. So I thought they bowled really well up front. You know, it's not every day that myself and Alex Hales go to run a ball or under run a ball. So we have to give credit to them. But I thought to be 2 down at the 7 over mark was actually quite good for us. And then the way Hasaranga came in and played, I think, you know, don't underestimate what Adam Hose did as well, because yes, it wasn't as fluid, I think, as he would have liked. And, you know, go balls to the wall and strike at 140, 150, but that was a very important innings for the team in the context of the game, and I think he'll take a lot of confidence from that. And then that, you know, when you got someone doing that, it allows those cameos to come in, and, you know, started with Hasaranga. You know, it's not a cameo, 42 is a bloody good score, so you take that, and then Azam and Rutherford towards the end there just came in and just put a little bit of icing on top.
You've had to jig the batting order around a little bit, haven't you? Because Adam Hose had to go up because Dan Lawrence was absent now. He's gone off to join England. Hasaranga's gone up as well, moving up to number 4. Were they difficult decisions, or were you comfortable with those players changing, and were they comfortable moving positions as well?
To be honest, that's some of the coaching stuff, and that's why we're so lucky at the Vipers that we've got, you know, 5 or 6 outstanding coaches that come up with these ideas. I'd love to put my hand up and say, yes, I was going to put Hasaranga up there, and but it was definitely the coaching staff that came up with that plan, and, you know, it came off today. It's not always going to come off, but, you know, to have him there in bat 4, you know, we don't expect our middle order to go out there and get 70s and 80s, because that's not the way they play. You know, we want them to come and make an impact in the game, and we've done that today really well, so very pleasing moving forward.
Just talking about Azam Khan, he was the man who put the icing on the cake at the back end, along with Shaheen Rutherford. Exceptional power from Azam, wasn't it? I mean, he really did. If there was any doubt at all at that back end of the match, he took that doubt away, didn't he?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be on Azam's side 3 years now in the PSL, and it's great to have him at the Vipers. You know, last year it didn't quite work out with him getting an OCs and things like that, but yeah, to have him on our side here, I love the way he plays his cricket. He's always happy, he's smiling, he enjoys himself, and yeah, I just think, you know, he's a super talent. You saw him behind the stumps today as well. You know, people obviously see his size, but he is phenomenal behind the stumps. You know, he made great ground to take that catch as well, early doors, and he's got slick hands, and he moves really, really well for a big lad. And you know, going back to his batting, he's got some serious power. He loves hitting spin out of the ground, and he's got, you know, silky wrists, that's for sure.
I guess we have to talk about the fielding. A couple of catches went down today. It was a problem last season as well in terms of catches going down. Is there any reason for it, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think the skills that we've been putting in, you know, we try and, well, I'm a big believer in, you know, our effort and enthusiasm in the field. If that's up, the skills will take care of itself. And if we do drop catches along the way, you know, I put my hand up today, I dropped a very good player, and another day he could have gone on and changed the whole momentum of that game. So, yeah, we look at ourselves and you know, we expect us to take those catches, but let's be honest, every catch under lights is not easy, but we are professional, we should be taking those catches. But I think today, the level is in the field that's our minimum. That's where we need to be, and we can get better from that for sure.
Now, obviously, there were a lot of changes today. The 3 Pakistanis came in, and also Aryan Lakra came in because obviously Tanish missed out because he wasn't keeping wicket with Azam going behind the stumps. Shaheen, Azam, Shadab coming in too. Means some disappointed players, doesn't it? How do you manage that?
Yeah, some very disappointed players, and for me as a captain, you want to see those guys disappointed, because it shows that they care and that they actually really want to be playing. It is tough to try and keep them motivated, because, you know, those boys are here for, you know, 5 or 6 games and before they head off. But again, it takes a squad. You know, I keep saying it. It takes a squad to win championships, and you know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if your attitude is bad around the group, that's going to filter into the rest of them. So, you know, if you are feeling a bit down, a bit flat, take a day off training. Don't come to the group. Wait until you've dealt with some of that negativity and bring a positive attitude to the group. That's all I can ask. I've been on the sidelines for a long time as well, you know, carrying drinks in different tournaments and things like that. So I know where the boys are, how they're feeling, you know, and just try and be as open as I can with them around the consistency and as in selection. And you know, it's tough. That's the hardest part that I don't like about, you know, captaincy is telling the guys the bad news that they're not going to be playing and things. So that's the hardest part. But you know, it's helping me grow as a person and as a player as well.
Now, psychologically, how important was that win this evening? The Gulf Giants beat the Vipers 3 times out of 4 last season. So to get a win on the board against them in the first game you come up against them in season 2, that must feel nice.
Yeah, it is. It's you know, obviously you would be sitting down, well, at the bottom of the table, 0 from 2, but you know, 1 from 2 is a lot better. It's better viewing for us and our fans, and yeah, I think the Gulf Giants are a really well-oiled machine. That they've kept their same core together as well from last year, as they should, because they went on and won it. Couple of changes here and there, but you know, they well structured and they well captained by Vince and coached by Andy Flower. So you know, we'll take this win and move on to the next one.
And how about the fact that here we are 7 games into this tournament, and lo and behold, there's no side that's avoided defeat thus far. Does that say to you that all the sides are very close together?
Yeah, 100%. All the teams have recruited really well. They've got some world-class players throughout their lists, and you know, that's what makes, I suppose, this year even better than last year, is that there's quality down the list of every single team, and anyone can beat anyone on their day, and that's exciting for the league and exciting for us as players, that you know, every game you need to be up and be at your best to win games of cricket.
A couple of days break and then it really gets serious. I think 6 games in 9 days. How are you viewing these next couple of days? Is it a case of everyone get as much rest as you can because of that really intense schedule, or is there going to be a decent amount of practice leading into the back-to-back matches on Saturday and Sunday?
Well, I think it all comes down to individual. I think bring it back to the coaching staff, where we're so lucky that they've been around franchise cricket for so long. They know what players need in franchise cricket, and you know, we've had a really good week build up. We've done the hard work. We've trained. Now it's just about planning and preparing for each game. And if we can do that well, you know, going to 1 or 2 trainings beforehand is not really going to change your skill set too much, is it? So, you know, what we've done, we have to trust it. Go out there, play the game in front of us, adapt to the conditions, because we're going to be at different grounds now for the next 2 games. And you know, if we can adapt quickly, then that puts us in a good position.
So there we are. The Vipers off the mark, victory by 6 wickets against the Gulf Giants, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered after the first game defeat. And we'll be back with more Vipers Voices in podcast form and indeed in vodcast form after match 3 that takes place on Saturday.